it's Kelly from Intent, and I'm so excited today because our special guest is Shannon Lynch. And not only have we been friends for a number of years and share a number of clients, but she is a phenomenal human being in general, but certainly knows her stuff when it comes to staying relevant with the people in your database as well as your realtors. So Shannon, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thanks, Kelly. So everybody, thanks for having me on here. I'm actually with Jack Nadell International, which is a promotional products and branding agency. And so my days are spent really working with my clients and helping them to find ways to brand themselves, to stay relevant in their industries, and to make sure that they are taking the opportunities in the marketplace to stay in front of their clients, to utilize creative products and methodologies in order to stay relevant.
So I know that you do a lot with personal branding because you have the ability to take someone's personal brand or corporate brand and really put their logos on things that are super cool that people actually want to use, that people actually want to receive. I think one of the coolest parts about, really having a strong brand across mortgage companies is when, folks have a strong logo and a strong brand identity, and then people really get behind that and are always taking pictures in the shirts and the hats. That makes a big difference in really representing your brand.
You bet. You bet. Culture is everything. And creating a culture for a client is something that really has to happen internal to them. So every company, every person has kind of their own thing. Right. And taking that, working with them, getting to know them, and finding ways to bring that to market with them is really fun. I mean, I think one of the things that I love about what I do and what Jack Nadell offers in particular is that there's a lot of companies in the ad specialty industry, or ASI, so promotional products, if you will. And, anybody can take a pen, right? And you slap a logo on a pen, or you've got a chapstick and you slap a logo on a chapstick, and then you go to an event and you're handing out your pens and you're handing out your chapsticks. The question is, when somebody goes to use that chapstick, does it smell like something? Does it have a whole sense to it? Are we creating an experience with something as simple as a chapstick? Or are we just throwing stuff out there thinking, okay, I spent 27 cents on this chapstick and I'm going to hand it out to everybody that I know because it has my NMLS number, my name, my phone number, my email. People are going to reach out to me because I gave them a chapstick. The reality is people experience something like a chapstick, or I should say lip balm, because chapstick is copyrighted. So there I go, doing the things that I'm not supposed to do.
Okay.
But, going into a particular season, we have the ability to work with our vendors to really create an experience. I like to say that we curate experiences for folks. So going into the holidays, I mean, we're in October right now, and a lot of people don't realize what it takes from a time standpoint to really create a marketing campaign. And so I think that's really one of the things that professionals like myself bring to the table, is that we can work with a client and say, plan ahead. There are some real keystone pieces to how I like to work with clients and help them to approach their marketing. I'm always begging people, share your calendar with me. If you've got a golf tournament next July, don't wait until July to tell me about it. Tell me about it now, because what I do and what my team does is we get that on our calendars. And so then we're setting reminders to reach out to people. Most folks don't understand that a great marketing campaign can take anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks from thought process to launch. You're a good 6 to 8 weeks into that. And that's probably the biggest challenge, is helping to educate our clients on what all goes into everything. So in that people would say, what, 6 to 8 weeks, why would it take that long? Well, when you consider, we look at a date and then we back everything up.
Mhm.
So if you consider 4 days for shipping, if you want to ship ground, unless you really want to pay expedited shipping, you figure 2 weeks production time, you figure 2 weeks for samples and confirmations and making decisions. And you can really figure about a week to get ideas and decks from our team for that particular event. So when you break all of that out and explain it to somebody, they're like, oh, wow, now I get it. Now I get it. So, I always say, I always feel like it's important, whether it's somebody's working with me or they're working with one of my colleagues, find somebody that you really connect with in terms of, from a brand perspective, somebody that you enjoy working with because you're going to spend a lot of time with them,
Yeah.
and um, and really plan out your year, plan out the season. If you need to go quarterly, but getting ahead of the game is probably the biggest piece that I can't emphasize enough.
Well, and that's why I definitely wanted to talk to you like right now, because this is the time of year where all loan officers are thinking about, what am I going to do to like thank my referral partners or thank my database or like all my closed borrowers for the years? What can I do for them? And we're just, our hands are very tied,
Mhm.
because of the current environment that we're in. And so it's not as simple as, just going out and doing something. So I love, sort of creating that experience. And I've seen some of the things that you do. And that's, for me, the big thing. I mean, I think if you're a subscriber of, like the FabFitFun box, or
Yeah.
if you do those little boxes, the subscription boxes that you get, that moment is when you open it, and even if you don't love everything inside that box, you're so tickled by this idea that someone
Yeah.
has put this thing together, to use your word, curated things that are perfect for you. But it's like, our days are so long. We don't know what's around the corner with COVID, and to be able to present a beautiful gift to someone that comes to their house, that kind of speaks to how you do business and how you care about them. I think that's everything. So what are you seeing in terms of trends for what people are doing for the holidays?
Oh my gosh. One of the biggest trends that we're seeing, and something that we have implemented, is virtual events. People are really, it's all over the place. And regardless of where you are politically, the bottom line is that people are nervous about getting together. Um, and I think we've seen just a lot of the ups and the downs over the last 8 months with, do we get together? Do we have a small group? Do we have a large group? Do we not get together at all? And so um, we at Jack Nadell have put together a whole series of virtual events that our clients are taking advantage of. And so from soup to nuts, we take care of it. Helping to set up what we refer to as a microsite, which allows us to collect the data needed to send out a perfectly curated gift for that particular event. So if somebody decides that they want to do a virtual cooking event, or a tequila tasting, or a honey tasting, or a yoga class, or, I mean, there's so many different things that we can do. And all of those kinds of events really can change from location to location. I'm based in Denver, so what we do here is very different than what folks are doing in the South. It's very different from what folks are doing in Los Angeles. And so we really try to look at, who are we reaching out to? And when I say we, it's me and my team and our client and their team, looking at, who do you want to reach? What kind of an impact do you want to have? So these virtual events have become a real thing. And I think even as we start to go back into the office and getting together more and more, I think we're going to see more of these kinds of virtual events, because my feeling is that people are more inclined to engage in those kinds of things when they don't have to take time away from family.
Great.
So if we create, I'm working with a client right now, and we're putting together basically a pizza party. And so we'll send out literally a kit that will have everything that they need for this pizza. They'll also have a list of things that they'll need to have on hand before the webinar, namely whatever toppings you want to put on the pizza. But we had a request for gluten-free. So when we set up the microsite, people can go on there and say, you know, I want a regular pizza or I want a gluten-free pizza. This is not something that just the person. So if it's a mortgage broker, loan officer, branch manager working with their real estate agents, it doesn't have to just be your real estate agents. Their kids can take part in this. You know, whoever's in the house, and it's crazy because you get this whole screen of people, and it's all these different people who really maybe don't interact with each other. So it's an opportunity to network. It's an opportunity for, you know, one realtor to meet another realtor, for industry people to come together in a way that's much more meaningful, I think, than just, hey, let's, you know, we're going to meet at such and such bar and restaurant and we'll have cocktails and appetizers and happy holidays. It's more about connection. And I think that is probably the key piece that we have seen really in the last 7 months, is that people are connecting differently. We've gotten back to basics in our homes. You know, those of us, you know, Kelly, you and I with teenagers, I mean, teenagers don't want to spend time with their moms, right?
No.
But the last 8 months, we've spent time with our kids. We've had conversations that never would have happened if we weren't all stuck in the house. And so, you know, things like, and they're all controversial, but, you know, watch TikTok, get on social media and see what's happening out there. You know, I especially encourage people to get on Instagram and the ads that come up and the different things that pop up. You know, you were talking about FabFit. Fun. I don't subscribe to that one.
Working from home, I don't know.
Oh yeah, there you go. I locked mine upstairs because if they heard that, they're going ballistic.
There it is. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry about the dog. That's just
no worries.
That's our life right now. No, stop. You can't do anything about a doorbell and a dog anymore. I'm telling you. Yep. But I love the fact, like, so I am so tickled by this concept of really curating these experiences, because I preach and preach and preach and preach the concept to people that you need to have a tribe of real estate agents around you. You need to like have those people know one another, be a group. And so getting a bunch of agents together and saying, hey, we're going to do a tequila tasting on this date and we're all going to get to know each other and we're going to, like, I'm going to send this thing to your house. That's just an incredible thing. I love it. I love it.
Inevitably, somebody's dog's going to start barking.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the craziest stuff on these Zooms has happened. And, you know, you get a kid in their pajamas streak across behind you and you're like, man, don't worry about that.
I feel like people are also it's very rare that you can find sort of a common denominator across all people, right? Everybody has different takes on life and everybody has different experiences and industries they work in. And yet we are all exactly the same we are all doing this from home, right? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, you know, but there's such a togetherness just in that part, right? So, I mean, doorbell rings, you know, dog barks. Normally you'd be like, oh, we got to start this whole thing again. But people are going to be like, yeah, Zoom and quarantine, got it. Super, no problem. Just keep on rolling.
You bet.
So if people are interested in learning more about what you do, how can they get a hold of you? Like, what do they do?
Oh my gosh, super easy. I'm an email away.
Okay.
My email is Shannon Dolce, Dolce, which is my maiden name, and it's been kind of my professional contact for years. So Shannon.Dolce@nadel, NADEL.com.
Fabulous. I'm going to put that at the end of the video as well. And I just thank you so much for your time today. I mean, I'm so grateful for your friendship and your partnership over these years. And I just love you to pieces. So I'm just really grateful for you taking a few minutes today to talk to our community at large about what they can do to make an impact with their real estate agents and kind of their database in a time where they can't get out and actually network in person.
Yeah. You bet. I do want to leave everybody with one little piece.
Yes.
So one little nugget. Gifting is a very personal thing. And what I would encourage people to do is, from a standard perspective, look at 2 to 3 basic things that you can put into a gift. And then use the acronym NYC. Everybody thinks that's New York City. I look at that and it's notice your client. So here we are on a Zoom, and you can see things behind me. You can see what my world is behind me. Notice those things about your client. So notice your client, and in those gifting experiences, you're going to have a couple, 2 to 3 items that are going to be real generic, real basic things that you can kind of stock up on. And then look for items that you think that particular person might like, because you've noticed them, you've taken an interest in who they are and what their life is. And anytime that we can do something that's meaningful to another human being, we're creating a relationship that's going to last and a loyalty that will carry over. So happy hunting, happy marketing, and thanks so much for having me.
All right. Thank you, Shannon. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.